It really feels like the way we all hunt for information online, it's just fundamentally changed, hasn't it?
Oh, completely.
We're, way past just plugging keywords into a search box, wading through page after page of links. People now, they expect instant answers, accurate ones, in their own words, ideally pulled right from content they trust. They're not looking to, dig for treasure. They just want the answer now.
This shift is creating a demand for something, well, much more intuitive than old school search.
Right.
Conversational AI search is really stepping up as the solution here. It's designed precisely to meet those kinds of user expectations, letting you ask questions naturally and get verified answers back.
Okay, but, there's so much buzz, maybe even just noise, around AI generally.
Yeah.
Getting it implemented right seems like the real hurdle for businesses. So our mission for this deep dive is to kind of cut through all that.
Yeah.
We want to pull out the key insights, the best practices for actually making conversational AI search work well, specifically on a website.
Some really common pain points like low discoverability, where great content just gets lost.
Yeah, totally. Which makes it useless, essentially. And your sources connect that directly to high support costs, don't they? You imagine support teams just answering the same questions over and over, questions that are answered somewhere on the site already. It's just inefficient.
Very inefficient. And then users get these fragmented experiences, right? They bounce around trying to connect the dots themselves. And because of that fragmentation, really valuable content often just sits there underused. And what's interesting is that traditional search analytics, like keywords, they only tell you what people typed.
Right, not the why.
Exactly, not the deeper intent. Conversational AI, because it understands that intent better, can unlock much, much richer insights about what users are really looking for.
Okay, so if those are the problems, discoverability, costs, fragmentation, missed insights, how do you actually build or pick a conversational AI search that works well?
4 core pillars that really drive the value. Accuracy, first and foremost, then control over the AI's answers. Also, seamless alignment with your specific content, and finally, making sure it performs well over the long haul. And to actually deliver on that framework, several really crucial capabilities you need to look for in any solution. The first one is faithfulness, which means the AI only answers using the specific trusted content you provide it. No going off script.
Verified answers only.
Got it. I saw something called a dual agent architecture. Can you unpack that quickly?
Sure. So the sources describe it as using 2 AI parts working together. One agent is like the drafter. It puts together an answer based purely on your content. Then a second checking agent rigorously verifies that the drafted answer is strictly supported by that source material. Only then does it get shown to the user.
Like a fact checker built in.
Exactly. It's a key way to prevent hallucinations, when the AI just makes stuff up and it keeps the conversation focused. Plus, it helps with contextual continuity, so you can ask follow-up questions naturally, and the AI remembers what you were talking about.
Okay, that makes sense. So once you're confident the AI is accurate and faithful, sticking to your content, how do you ensure it can actually understand and use all that content effectively?
Especially if it's maybe a bit messy.
Right. That's where content readiness tools become essential. That's another key capability. Even the best AI struggles with poorly structured or unclear content.
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out, sort of.
Pretty much. So they talk about features like readiness simulations, testing how well your existing content will actually work with the AI. Also, controlled access, so you can define exactly which documents or sections the AI should use, and ongoing content audits to keep everything up to date and high quality.
So getting your content house in order is vital. Makes sense. What about performance over time? It's not like you just switch it on and walk away, right?
Definitely not. Our sources are very clear on the need for built-in monitoring and feedback loops.
Okay.
They highlight tools for things like conversation review, letting you see exactly how the AI is answering questions, and low confidence detection, which flags queries where the AI wasn't really sure. That's super valuable.
So you can see where it's struggling.
Precisely. And that feedback helps you refine both the content and the AI setup, tackling things like those high support costs we talked about earlier.
And I guess there's also the need for the AI to sound like your specific brand, not just some generic robot.
Absolutely. Brand-aligned customization and governance is another piece. Let's talk about controlling the AI's tone of voice, how detailed its answers should be, setting fallback rules for when it genuinely can't find an answer in the provided content. The better solutions give you tools for this kind of fine-tuning while handling the complex AI stuff behind the scenes, so you get the results you want without needing a PhD in AI.
Compatibility must be a big one, too. Any solution has got to integrate smoothly with your existing tech, right? like multiple content systems, document storage, internal wikis maybe.
Oh, totally. It needs to play nicely with the systems you already rely on. Multi-source indexing is the term they often use. It's essential.
And crucially, the ability to handle unstructured data.
Because so much valuable information lives in things like PDFs, old policy documents, maybe even meeting notes, stuff that isn't in a nice, neat database.
Right.
So the capability to index, parse, and analyze that kind of content, maybe through automated tagging and analysis, that's key.
And lastly, implementation support. You don't just need the software, you need expert guidance too.
Yeah, help with that initial content assessment we talked about, configuring the system properly, thorough testing, setting up those monitoring tools. It's all crucial for actually succeeding long term.
Like a partnership, not just a purchase.
Exactly. It's not just deploying tech. It's about the strategy and the ongoing support that ensures the conversational search stays accurate, stays aligned with your goals, and keeps improving. It needs to deliver on those core pillars consistently.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. It really seems to boil down to evaluating conversational AI search based on those core ideas: accuracy, control, making sure it aligns with your content, and that long-term performance.
That's the foundation. And then practically speaking, you need to look for those specific capabilities we discussed. That faithfulness, the verified answers only, robust content readiness tools are vital. Built-in monitoring is a must.
Brand customization, broad compatibility, including that tricky unstructured data.
And that expert implementation support. These are the things that actually deliver the value and solve those initial problems, the low discoverability, high costs, and so on.
Right. So wrapping up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? Well, as AI search becomes more and more common, think about its growing ability to access and synthesize unstructured data, all those documents, notes, transcripts that were never really searchable before. How might that capability start to fundamentally change how we organize our information, maybe even how we think about knowledge itself? Definitely something to keep an eye on as this tech develops.